On this day in history, we remember the remarkable individuals who shaped our world. Welcome to Who Died Today in History, where we honor their legacies. From artists to leaders, their impact lives on. If you find their stories meaningful, like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay connected.
Thank you to all our amazing channel members for your generous support.
Her voice felt like a warm radio glow in the dark, a sound that comforted millions and quietly defined an era. Clara Ann Fowler, known to the world as Patti Page, was born on November 8, 1927, in Claremore, Oklahoma. Raised in a large working-class family, she sang on local radio as a teenager to help support them, already revealing a calm, steady voice that felt instantly reassuring. Patti Page rose to fame in the late 1940s, just as America searched for optimism after war. Her breakthrough came with Confess, a song made unique by her overdubbed harmonies, a technical necessity that became her signature sound. She soon became the best-selling female recording artist of the 1950s. Hits like Tennessee Waltz, How Much Is That Doggy in the Window, and Mockingbird Hill turned her into a household name. Tennessee Waltz alone sold millions of copies and crossed genre lines, beloved by pop, country, and traditional audiences alike. Away from the spotlight, Patti Page was known for her quiet discipline and humility. A lesser-known detail is that she struggled with severe vocal strain early in her career, forcing her to step back and relearn how to sing safely. That experience shaped her professionalism and respect for her craft. Unlike many stars of her time, she avoided scandal, focusing instead on longevity, faith, and control over her career. Patti Page died on January 1, 2013 at the age of 85. She passed away from complications of diabetes in Encinitas, California. Her death marked the quiet closing of one of the last living chapters of classic American pop music's golden age. The reaction was immediate and heartfelt. Fellow musicians, historians, and fans mourned her as a voice of comfort and stability. Tributes poured in from across genres, honoring her ability to bridge country and pop without ever losing sincerity. Radio stations replayed her songs, and for many listeners, memories returned with every familiar note. Today, Patti Page is remembered as more than a chart topper. She represents a time when emotion mattered more than spectacle, when clarity and warmth could carry a song across generations. Her influence can still be heard in modern country pop crossover artists who balance polish with authenticity. Patti Page's voice may have faded from the airwaves, but it still lingers in memory, like a final waltz that never truly ends. He smiled like a movie star, laughed like a gentleman, and somehow made charm feel effortless in Hollywood's golden age. Cesar Romero was born on February 15, 1907, in New York City to Cuban parents with strong artistic roots. As a child, he traveled often between the United States and Cuba, absorbing culture, language, and elegance early. Long before fame, he dreamed not of acting, but of becoming a ballet dancer, a goal that shaped his graceful screen presence. Romero's rise to fame began in the 1930s, when Hollywood studios noticed his natural charisma and refined looks. He quickly became a leading man at 20th Century Fox, starring in romantic adventures and swashbuckling films. His career reached new heights with roles in films like Captain Blood and the Thin Man series. Decades later, he achieved unexpected, iconic fame as the Joker in the 1960s television series Batman. With his painted grin, flamboyant laugh, and playful menace, Romero transformed the villain into a pop culture legend, influencing every Joker portrayal that followed. Off-screen, Cesar Romero lived a life as colorful as his roles. A lesser-known detail is that he never married and fiercely guarded his privacy, preferring lifelong friendships over public relationships. He was also known for his impeccable manners, love of fine art, and deep loyalty to friends. During World War II, he volunteered for the U.S. Coast Guard, serving quietly without using his celebrity status for advantage. Cesar Romero died on January 1, 1994, at the age of 86. He passed away from complications related to cancer at his home in Santa Monica, California. His death came peacefully, closing a career that had spanned more than 6 decades of entertainment history. The reaction was one of warm remembrance rather than shock. Fellow actors, filmmakers, and fans honored him as one of Hollywood's last true gentlemen. Tributes highlighted not just his performances, but his kindness, professionalism, and timeless charm. Television networks replayed Batman episodes, and a new generation rediscovered his unforgettable Joker. Today, Cesar Romero's legacy lives on in 2 worlds. He remains a symbol of classic Hollywood elegance, and at the same time, a cornerstone of modern pop culture mythology. His Joker proved that villains could be theatrical, funny, and unforgettable, long before darker interpretations arrived. Few actors managed to leave such different yet equally lasting impressions. Cesar Romero didn't just play characters on screen, he embodied an era, leaving behind a smile that still echoes through Hollywood history. She became a symbol of warmth, innocence, and timeless beauty. Yet behind the smile was a woman who quietly defied expectations. Donna Douglas was born Doris Ione Smith on September 26, 1932, in Pride, Louisiana. Growing up in a small rural community, she was raised with strong values and resilience. As a teenager, she showed an early flair for performance, winning local beauty contests while balancing work and school long before Hollywood ever noticed her. Her rise to fame came in the late 1950s after moving to New York City and working as a model and actress. Donna appeared in commercials, television dramas, and variety shows, slowly building recognition. Everything changed in 1962 when she was cast as Elly Clampett on the Beverly Hillbillies. The role made her an instant star. Week after week, millions of viewers fell in love with Elly May's kindness, intelligence, and love for animals. The show became one of the most watched sitcoms in television history, and Douglas became one of its most beloved faces. Beyond that role, she appeared in films like Lover Come Back and continued working in television, though Elly May would always define her public image. Away from the cameras, Donna Douglas was far more complex than her on-screen persona. A lesser-known fact is that she was deeply spiritual and later became a motivational speaker focusing on faith, self-worth, and inner strength. She also pursued gospel music and public speaking, choosing a quieter, purpose-driven life rather than chasing constant fame. Donna Douglas died on January 1, 2015, at the age of 82. She passed away from pancreatic cancer at her home in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, surrounded by loved ones. Her death marked the loss of one of television's most enduring symbols of kindness and simplicity. The reaction was heartfelt and nostalgic. Fans shared memories of watching the Beverly Hillbillies with family members, recalling laughter, comfort, and a sense of togetherness. Co-stars and fellow actors remembered her as gracious, humble, and endlessly kind. Tributes poured in from across generations, proving how deeply her work had touched American culture. Today, Donna Douglas is remembered not just as Elly Clampett, but as a reminder of a gentler era of television. Her character challenged stereotypes, showing that kindness and intelligence could exist together, and her personal life reflected the same quiet strength. Reruns of the show continue to introduce her to new audiences, keeping her spirit alive. Donna Douglas didn't chase fame forever. She chose meaning instead, and in doing so, left behind a legacy as pure and lasting as her unforgettable smile. She had a fragile voice, an unshakable presence, and a screen intensity that made silence feel louder than words. Margaret Sullivan was born on May 16, 1909, in Norfolk, Virginia. As a child, she suffered a severe hearing impairment that affected her speech, an obstacle that would later shape her unique, trembling vocal style. What seemed like a limitation became one of her most unforgettable traits. Her rise to fame came swiftly in the early 1930s. After being discovered by director John M. Stahl, she made her film debut in Only Yesterday in 1933. But it was her performances in Little Man, What Now, and The Shop Around the Corner that truly defined her career. On screen, she radiated vulnerability and emotional honesty, standing out in an era dominated by glamour and polish. Her collaborations with James Stewart became legendary, capturing intimacy and longing with rare subtlety. In 1938, she earned an Academy Award nomination for Three Comrades, solidifying her reputation as one of Hollywood's most sensitive, dramatic actresses. Off-screen, Margaret Sullivan lived a life far more turbulent than her delicate image suggested. She was married 4 times, including once to director William Wyler. Few people know that she suffered from profound depression for much of her adult life, even as her career flourished. She often withdrew from Hollywood, choosing stage work and long breaks rather than the constant spotlight. Margaret Sullivan died on January 1, 1960. She was just 50 years old. Her death occurred in New Haven, Connecticut, from an accidental overdose of barbiturates. The news shocked the film industry and left many struggling to reconcile her gentle screen presence with such a tragic end. The reaction was somber and reflective. Fellow actors spoke of her generosity, her intelligence, and her quiet pain. Audiences revisited her films with new eyes, noticing the emotional depth she carried into every role. There was a sense that Hollywood had lost someone irreplaceable, not just a star, but a soul. Today, Margaret Sullivan is remembered as an actress ahead of her time. Her performances feel modern, restrained, and deeply human. Film historians still cite her as a pioneer of naturalistic acting, influencing generations that followed. Though her career was relatively brief, her impact remains lasting. Margaret Sullivan showed us that strength can whisper instead of shout. And sometimes the softest voices leave the deepest echoes. She didn't wait for permission, didn't soften her voice, and didn't step aside when history told her to stay silent. Shirley Chisholm was born on November 30th, 1924, in Brooklyn, New York. She spent part of her childhood in Barbados, where a strict education shaped her confidence, discipline, and unmistakable clarity of speech. Her rise to prominence was nothing short of groundbreaking. In 1968, Shirley Chisholm became the first black woman elected to the United States Congress, representing New York's 12th District. She arrived in Washington unbought and unbossed, refusing to conform to party expectations or political traditions. In 1972, she shattered another barrier by becoming the first black candidate and the first woman to seek the presidential nomination of a major political party. Though she did not win, her campaign changed what Americans believed was possible. Throughout her career, she fought fiercely for civil rights, women's equality, education reform, and the poor, often standing alone when others stayed silent. Behind the public figure was a deeply principled and private woman. Shirley Chisholm never had children and rarely spoke about her personal life, choosing instead to pour her energy into public service. Few know that she faced constant threats and intense discrimination, yet she refused personal security for much of her career, believing leaders should remain accessible to the people they served. Shirley Chisholm died on January 1, 2005. She was 80 years old. Her death occurred in Ormond Beach, Florida, following a series of strokes. The passing of the new year carried the quiet loss of a woman who had helped redefine American democracy. The reaction was immediate and reverent. Political leaders, activists, and citizens across the country reflected on her courage and integrity. Tributes highlighted not just her historic firsts, but her moral consistency. She was remembered as someone who spoke hard truths long before they were popular. Today, Shirley Chisholm's legacy lives on in every woman and every person of color who steps into political spaces once closed to them. Her words are still quoted, her courage is still studied. Her example remains a blueprint for leadership rooted in justice rather than ambition. Shirley Chisholm proved that history doesn't only change through power, but through fearless conviction, spoken clearly, and lived without apology. Her face once lit up British cinema screens, then quietly faded away, leaving behind performances that still whisper from another era. Margot Graham was born on February 20th, 1914, in Canterbury, England. She was the daughter of a professional photographer, and from an early age, she was surrounded by images, expression, and the subtle art of capturing emotion. Her rise to fame came swiftly in the 1930s, during the golden age of British film. Margot Graham gained major attention with her haunting performance in Love on the Dole in 1941, where her portrayal of hardship and dignity resonated deeply with wartime audiences. A few years earlier, she had appeared in Alfred Hitchcock's Young and Innocent, giving her international exposure and cementing her reputation as a serious, dramatic actress. She went on to work steadily in both British and Hollywood productions, admired for her quiet intensity rather than flamboyant stardom. Away from the screen, Margot Graham lived a life marked by complexity and resilience. She was married and divorced 3 times, including a turbulent relationship with actor John Justin. Less known is her determination to maintain artistic independence, even when it meant turning down roles that conflicted with her values. As the film industry changed, she chose dignity over desperation, stepping away rather than chasing fading fame. Margot Graham died on January 1, 1982. She was 67 years old. Her death occurred in Surrey, England, after a battle with cancer. It was a quiet passing, far removed from the bright lights that once followed her every move. The news of her death did not dominate headlines, but it stirred reflection among film historians and classic cinema fans. Tributes focused on her emotional depth and her contribution to socially conscious British films. She was remembered not as a celebrity, but as an actress who brought realism and humanity to the screen. Today, Margot Graham is remembered by those who revisit classic cinema and discover performances that feel honest, restrained, and timeless. Her work stands as a reminder of an era when acting relied less on spectacle and more on truth. She may not be a household name anymore, but her presence still lingers in the frames she once filled. Margot Graham's legacy lives quietly, like a final scene held just a moment longer, asking us not to forget the power of subtle brilliance. A straw hat, a playful wink, and a French accent that charmed the world. Few entertainers ever made joy feel so effortless. Maurice Chevalier was born on September 12, 1888, in Paris, France. Raised in poverty in the working-class district of Ménilmontant, he left school early and performed on the streets, learning quickly how to win over a crowd. His rise to fame began in French music halls, but it was cinema that turned him into an international star. In the late 1920s and early 1930s, Chevalier became one of Hollywood's first global musical sensations, starring in films like The Love Parade and Love Me Tonight. His light tenor voice, natural charm, and comedic timing made him irresistible. Decades later, he experienced an unexpected revival with Gigi in 1958, proving his appeal had survived generations. He followed that success with memorable roles in Can-Can and Fanny, earning Academy Award nominations and renewed admiration. Offstage, Maurice Chevalier was more complex than his cheerful persona suggested. He lived through 2 world wars and was deeply affected by them, especially World War II, when his career and reputation faced scrutiny in occupied France. A lesser-known fact is his lifelong devotion to performing. Even in old age, he practiced daily, believing professionalism was a form of respect for the audience. Maurice Chevalier died on January 1st, 1972. He was 83 years old. His death occurred in Paris, France, from complications following heart surgery. The man who had sung about happiness and romance passed away quietly in the city where his journey began. News of his death spread quickly across Europe and the United States. Tributes poured in from fellow performers, filmmakers, and fans who had grown up with his voice. Radio stations replayed his songs. Film channels revisited his classics. The world paused to remember a man who had made smiling seem natural. Today, Maurice Chevalier is remembered as more than a singer or actor. He was a bridge between eras, between silent films and sound, between Europe and Hollywood. His songs still echo in classic cinema, his style remains iconic, and his influence can be felt in every performer who understands that charm can be just as powerful as talent. Maurice Chevalier didn't just entertain audiences. He taught the world how joy could sound, look, and live on long after the curtain falls. A towering presence, a gravelly voice, and a face built for authority, Barton McLean became Hollywood's unforgettable symbol of tough, unshakable power. Barton McLean was born on December 25, 1902, in Columbia, South Carolina. Before acting, he studied law and even practiced briefly, an early path that hinted at the commanding presence he would later bring to the screen. His rise to fame came during Hollywood's golden age, where he carved out a career playing hard-edged men of law and order. Audiences first took notice with films like The Maltese Falcon in 1941, where he played the relentless police lieutenant opposite Humphrey Bogart. That same year, he starred in Sergeant York, further cementing his image as a no-nonsense authority figure. On television, he became a household name as Police Lieutenant Frank Ballinger on I Led 3 Lives, a Cold War-era series that made him instantly recognizable across America. Behind the tough exterior was a disciplined and deeply private man. Few knew that McLean was intensely loyal to his craft and colleagues, often mentoring younger actors on set. Despite his intimidating screen image, those who worked with him described him as thoughtful, reserved, and deeply professional. Barton McLean died on January 1, 1969. He was 66 years old. His death was caused by a heart attack at his home in Santa Monica, California. It was a quiet passing for a man whose career had been defined by commanding attention the moment he appeared on screen. The news of his death spread quickly through Hollywood. Co-stars and directors paid tribute to his reliability and presence, noting that films felt more grounded when McLean was part of the cast. Fans remembered him not as a leading man, but as the man who made every scene feel real. Television reruns and classic film screenings became small memorials in his honor. Today, Barton McLean is remembered as one of cinema's great character actors. He didn't need flashy performances or dramatic monologues. His strength was believability. When he played a cop, you trusted him. When he played authority, you felt it. His work continues to define how supporting roles can elevate entire stories. Barton McLean may never have chased stardom, but in every hardened stare and steady voice, he left behind something stronger than fame, enduring respect.